We're good?
Yep.
I'll open the meeting at 7:06. We'll all rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
DeSessa.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
McCanney.
Here.
Perkins.
Here.
Turpinning. Cuxy. Cullis.
Yes. I would make a motion to excuse both Kari Cuxy and Tim Turpinning.
Second.
There is a motion to excuse, and it is seconded for Cuxy and Turpinning. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 5-0. Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Murphy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0, pass. Now approval of the minutes from January 12th.
I will move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by DeSessa, second by Perkins. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0, pass. Statement of purpose. Mr. Perkins, would you do the honor?
Absolutely. The mission of the Holly Historic District Commission is to safeguard the heritage of the village of Holly by preserving the historic district in the village that reflects the elements of the village's history, architecture, archaeology, engineering, or culture. The goal of the Commission's work is to stabilize and improve property values in the historic district and surrounding areas, foster civic beauty, strengthen the local economy, and promote the use of the historic district for education, pleasure, and welfare of the citizens of Holly.
Thank you. We don't have a presentation tonight. We will move on to public comment. Members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. Commission may expend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote for items on the agenda. Comments may be made after commission discussion prior to commission vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public shall state their name and address for the record. Anyone interested in public comment? I can't.
Give my time to the gentleman from the fire department.
No, he doesn't need any time. He has his own. But if you're all set, we're all set. Okay, we will go on to old business, corrections to the annual report. Mr. Watson?
Yes, sir. So we made the added sentence of the Village of Holly hosted the 42nd Michigan Historic Preservation Network. As requested.
Squared away.
Okay, I do notice on here that we had a total of 6 meetings that were canceled due to a lack of business for last year.
Yep.
Any other comments regarding this? Do you want a motion to approve?
Sure. Thank you.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
I mean, the annual report as.
Second.
Motion by Murphy, second by DeSessa. Any further discussion? None appearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Motion passes. New business. Consideration to move HDC meeting from 7 PM to 6 PM. We talked about this at our last meeting. It was not an agenda item, it was a suggestion, but we did check with the village administration, and they gave us a green light.
Yes, sir. They said that we would have to make a motion and it would be have to vote upon, and the majority would rule for that move.
I'm in favor.
It was brought up at, wasn't,
The last meeting.
there was another
sorry.
meeting, there was another meeting was brought up, you brought up.
Planning Commission, so
Planning, yeah, yeah.
we've also entertained with all our boards and commissions that same, other than council, that same suggestion, so.
So we're wanting to do it for council as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have not met with the ZBA yet, but that will also be an agenda item. The Planning Commission last month entertained it as you as well, and we'll make it a agenda item for.
So what you're saying is we're trendsetters.
Yes, sir.
I can live with that. So
What was the reason it was at 7 o'clock in the first place?
it matched the trustees, or the council.
Oh, okay.
Everything mirrored it.
Yep.
Okay.
Chair would entertain a motion.
Did you have comment, Mr. DeSouza?
Not a comment, I guess I have another question. I mean, maybe you can't answer this, but I'll ask anyways. When the administration, I know, is allowing us to vote on it, is it the administration's intent, or would they be in favor of us moving to 6?
Yeah, they had no opinion either way. The only thing they wanted to check was the charter to make sure it wasn't a violation of the charter.
Yeah.
I think
And
it was
it-
easier on you all instead of.
It's
having
probably
to go around
actually
here.
easier on the staff. They don't have to go home
Yeah,
and
let's
come
do
back.
that.
Right.
Let's get them out of here.
Yeah.
No, it's
Get 'em
not,
home.
I mean, we do as you please, so.
No, it's.
Well, it should be
We don't want
advantageous
our
for
way.
all of us.
I think it'll work. I don't know. It should.
I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, you move it back to 7, I guess, is worst. I mean, what else could happen?
Well, we've moved the meeting before from a different night to a different, I think, when I first came on this, our meetings were on Tuesdays or Mondays. Anyway, we've moved them to facilitate the
Yeah.
board
Yeah,
members.
yeah, yeah.
So again, the chair would entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we move the meeting time from 7 PM to 6 PM.
A second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Murphy. And just to clarify on these motions, typically anything on the agenda is here for approval. So I will usually call for a motion early. I will always call for discussion after the motion, so I wouldn't be cutting you out, just so we know. All right. If there isn't any further discussion, then I will all
Would you do a
in.
roll call vote for
Yeah,
that?
that'd be
sir?
roll
Okay. Well, they didn't put it in the form of a resolution, but I'm okay with it. Typically, a
What's-
resolution would require a roll call. But-
So what is the purpose of the roll call vote?
Well, but this isn't money. Pardon?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the roll call vote? Just
So
to
that
put,
each person's on record for having voted. In the event that it's an ordinance or in the event that you're spending money, the state requires each vote to be recorded separately.
oh, okay.
That's why most of the time we do all in favor, all opposed. If this had been given to us in resolution form, I would have automatically called for a roll call, but it wasn't.
Mm.
It's a recommendation. Now, will this then go back to council for final approval?
Well, I don't believe so.
I don't think so
Okay.
either.
All right, roll call, please.
DeSouza,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
McKenney,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Cullis.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Now, number 2 on new business is the discussion of Michigan Historic Preservation Network Award nomination. I got this in the mail, as I do, or my email, as I do every year, and I was taking a look at it. And I wanted the board to discuss nominating the venue at 111. I don't know if, have all of you had an opportunity to be inside that building, see what they've done? That building sat here empty for how many years?
A very long time.
20s, I heard.
Not empty.
Well, it was built in the 20s, but it's been off the rolls for decades.
Wasn't there a community center for a while?
It was the River Church. I
The
think.
Yeah.
River Church had it as a community center when I first moved in here. There wasn't a lot of
Right, they only
activity.
used a small portion.
And they used the back of the building
Right.
for a resale store. But it sat for years.
And we played Nerf gun wars in there.
And now they've cleaned it up. It's a beautiful venue from one end of the building to the other. Ed Lum is the owner of Shannon Fasteners, and they were nominated as Business of the Year by the Chamber of Commerce this year. Ed actually went to high school there, and he came in the building and he just took his breath away. And he had to go immediately down to see the gym and to see what they were done, and he just couldn't believe what they've done to the building. And I thought they would be an excellent candidate for nominating. Now, I will tell you, it's probably one of the first times I've ever disagreed with Ron Campbell. Ron's concern is that they changed the color of the stucco, but our historic district doesn't dictate color. So they didn't take the stucco off and replace it, they just changed the color. But I
There's
guess,
been no exterior renovations.
I'm sorry,
There's been no exterior renovations other than
except for color
maintenance.
and replacing some rotted wood.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
nothing that required this board to make a judgment.
Right,
But what
and we
they've done,
changed the
but
facade
what they've done to
anyway,
that building, I think, is wonderful. And I would like to recommend that the commission nominate them for this award. It's a process. It's not just, send their name. There's a form to fill out. I would probably, it would depend. Does the administration want to handle that, or do you want us as a board to write that nomination?
I think the board would have to write the nomination and approve it, and then send it off to administration for further processing.
Okay, I know Mr. DeCessi, you spend a lot of time on the computer. I see him in the coffee shop during the week.
Oh, yeah.
Would you be willing to kind of spearhead this up?
Sure.
I know Mr. McCanny's done a lot of work for the commission, but I also know he's super busy right now. So, and he does know how to say no, so I won't look at him.
Thank you.
And we will help you, of course, with any questions.
What is the timeline, the deadline for this application to be submitted?
Thursday.
Is it?
No, I'm asking.
I sent I sent it to you. Is it here?
It's not
Not
in
in the
here.
packet,
It's
no,
not
sir.
in the packet. No.
We just had a discussion, but you never sent me any emails. Let me triple check here.
Well, hang on.
You're correct, I do have it.
It says right here I sent it to you.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
no, I didn't. Yes, I did.
I have it.
Well, in fact,
Applications are due February 15th.
in fact, I remember now.
It's next week.
I told you I'd send it to you. You called me and said you never got it, and it turned out I sent it to Jeremy Lintz
Yes.
the first time. That's the fire chief for NACFA. I have two Jeremys, and I often get them crossed. So, but
Mr. DeSessa, I can send you this link after the meeting, so you have it in electronic format.
Yes, please do, because I think you said February 15th.
Yes.
yeah, so you,
Looks
have
like it's a-
so you have plenty of time. See, Mr. McCanny thought it was today, but it's not.
I was closer than farther away, though.
Said the blind horse running the race. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to do this.
Second that one. They did a lot in there.
And
I think it's a
support
very
by
good
Mr. Murphy.
example of
And we'll
rehabilitation.
do a roll call just to show them
reuse.
that we are.
Unified.
Madam Secretary?
DeSessa,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
McCanny,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Cullis.
Yes. Okay, that brings us down to commission and staff comments. Let me start this out by asking Mr. Watson. I've had a couple of questions. I've had a couple of questions brought to my attention from the community. With the wall that's going back up on the back of the hotel, will there also be a firewall added to the back of that?
Firewall. No.
If a new building is built behind it, will there,
That will, no, they will have to, the new building will have a different, it'll be just like all the other buildings downtown that have a zero lot line.
so there'll be an airspace between them?
I can't say for certain, because I have not received plans for any redevelopment of the vacant lot.
Okay, I had that question posed to me and I didn't know the answer, so I
For our
thought,
ordinance, the downtown district has a zero lot line ordinance. So if they wanted, if they chose to build the building right next to one another, by ordinance, they would be allowed to do that.
that I understand, but would they be made to put something between them to help keep the fire from spreading like it?
The only way we'd be able to control the new development like that would be by size, occupancy, size and occupancy, whether or not we'd have to require them to suppress it. But other than that, no, they're, for our zoning ordinance, they would be allowed to build that building on a zero lot line. Right. That's about the only answer I can give
Okay.
you without seeing plans.
That was a question that had been posed, and I wasn't sure that. And just so you know my thought process, when the hotel gets done with theirs, they might be eligible for the same award next year, along with Andy's place. So just something for you to keep in mind. But commission comments, I'll start with Mr. McCanny.
I have none.
Okay. Then I'll go down here to Mr. Murphy.
I got nothing.
Mr. DeSessa? You didn't want to say you were pleased to help with the application?
Can't wait.
and honored to be
He's gonna get
picked?
started when he gets home.
Yeah, I better.
He's not even gonna watch Tucker Carlson.
Well, should we come up with? Should we give him some points to add into it, or is it, you have to write a paragraph, or is it just a
Yeah, I don't know.
name, address, serial number?
No,
type
there's
ad?
there's some elements to it with the date line between us. We can, now that the board has done this, we can turn to Vince and Kari and ask for some information that we may need to put in there. But I think between Jeremy Watson,
Because there's not a lot of time. I mean, it's five.
Right.
There's 5 days.
And next week, I'm starting my staff and command class, so I will be, for the next 10 months, 1 week out of every month, I'll be in class in Eastern Michigan, receiving a
oh,
degree.
Bill,
Staff and
trust me,
Ooh, what kind of a degree?
I'll help you and I'll make sure we get the answers.
Master's?
degree level in the fire science.
Oh, neat. Well done.
And if it goes wrong, we'll blame
That's
Mr.
cool.
Perkins.
Oh,
He's the council representative.
Sounds good.
Okay,
We'll get her done.
Okay.
I have nothing, sir.
nothing? I'll turn to Mr. Watson.
Let's see, I can give an update downtown. As you can see, the Holly Hotel is moving rapidly along with the exterior wall. I would anticipate trusses probably in the next week or two, and then we get that sealed in. We have not received any, on phase 2, any submittals on that. I know that there was discussion of Pat's Place being sold, but I haven't heard the outcome of that. The Moose is probably 90 days or less, I would hope, before they're serving burgers. Creative Fashions, as most of you probably already know, they were the first business to receive their C of O last Friday. I know Channel 12 was out here, and I think there were some other media entities. And the Balcony Row Bookstore it just received their rough final inspection, so they'll be moving forward with insulation and interior wall coverings.
Jeremy, can you tell me a little bit about the bookstore? Is it the general bookstore? Is it new, used?
So that was what it was called, was the Balcony Row Bookstore, but that was kind of a very unique antique store that was open maybe on Saturdays.
it was, yeah.
Well, it used to be open several days during the week. As Jim Hilty and his wife got older,
Okay.
they cut the hours. Balcony Row Bookstore was a portion of that store, and that's where he had all the antique books.
And that's the part that got hit because that was right next to
That was
Andy's.
next to the Moose.
Or not next to the Moose. Yeah.
Next to the Moose. So
That was on a website.
Evelyn has turned 100,
Yeah.
and I spoke with her this week, as a matter of fact. She lives with her daughter now down in Ann Arbor, and they've been monitoring the repair work and said everything was going along as expected. And
Yeah, she was in a nursing home, and right before her 100th birthday, I talked to her son came into the shop, and she got out. And she had a picture. She was all excited. She's getting out of the nursing home at 100.
Yep, she's back home, but
Yeah.
yep, she
That
made
building
100.
was in a national website the other day called Mysterious and Abandoned Locations in America. It's something I follow. And
Well, it's actually still full of antiques. They've all been moved to the one side, and they've been slowly but surely. Different people have come in and taken some of the antiques out. She's trying to liquidate that part of it. She does have some interested buyers. Their intent is to sell it.
oh, it is.
She's going to find out first if the Moose wants that first section to add to their building, and if not, then she'll sell the whole thing
That doesn't sell.
You know,
second.
someone said that she is used to be a painter.
Yes.
Evelyn?
She was.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Are her
she's
paintings still available locally somewhere on the antique place?
I don't-
she's like nationally recognized, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to give you, not that we need to take up the meeting to do this, but when my wife and I bought our house, we finished the front room. As you come in the door to the left is the Lincoln Library, and my entire collection of Abe Lincoln is either in there or on the outside wall, if there are a few pieces in my office. But when I finished that room, Jim and I have been Jim was a nationally known collector of Lincoln, and I invited him and his wife to our house to see the room once we got it completed. They came out that night. I had purchased a piece of artwork that hangs in our parlor that I knew was a famous piece, but I couldn't put a name to it. And you know, you can't Google without words, or at least back then you couldn't. And when we came into the house, we were talking about the different pieces, and I said, Evelyn said, "Oh, isn't that wonderful?" And I said, "I know it's a famous piece. It's actually hanging on the wall in one of the scenes from the Waltons." I said, "But I haven't been able to put a name on it." And she goes, "Oh, well, that's the famous crossover of Brahms." And she put a name on it like that. So, I mean, she really knew her stuff.
They were squared away.
And then there's another piece in our house that dates back to the 1700s. And when she saw that, she said, "Do you have the companion to this?" I didn't know there was a companion. I had bought it in an antique shop over the years, and she knew that it was one of two pieces, which now has me forever looking for the companion.
And someone
Thanks
said
for
that
the mind
she,
virus.
Once beat George O'Keefe in a art contest.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I used to go over there every
next time I
Saturday.
talk to Penny, I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
I used to go over every Saturday and talk to her. We could hang out for a little bit. She'd always have the paintings she wanted to show me. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like thousands of dollars. She was-
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a quick question for you, George. What's the progress on the barn?
So, you're talking about the one we're moving from? Yep. So if you drive by the property, there's an orange fence out in the middle.
The ground's already been broke.
And then yesterday, they were out and broke ground and leveled it off. With this warm weather, they're hoping to get the foundation in the next couple of weeks.
They slapping it.
If you, well, no, because it's, for lack of a better term, it's a tri-level barn.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
section down and up. If you go to the township Facebook page or the supervisor's Facebook page, you will see a video of the barn that's in Waterford.
Mhm.
And they used a drone, and they flew it around the building and into the building before they did anything. Then about midway, they did the same flight pattern, and then when they finished dismantling everything but the frame, they did the same flight pattern again. If you go to that video on Facebook, they edited it so that you see beginning, middle, end as the drone goes around the building. Then they fly it right into the building, and you can see the dismantling process right before your eyes. It's a pretty clever video.
Cool.
That building is now sitting there in its frame, waiting for the foundation, and then they'll dismantle the parts. All the boards have been brought out to the farmstead, and we're using the basement of the existing barn to store that wood.
Cool. Thanks.
So, as weather permits, we should have that up in early spring.
Awesome.
That is the hope. So, and we are also moving forward this summer. You should be able to see a fence appear across the front of the property. We are also going to be able to get some of the roadway into the property, because as the future projects come to be, you got to be able to get vehicles in and out of there and have a place to park. And bigger trucks, we don't want them sinking into the farmland itself. On the south end of the property, we're going to be working on the gazebo and there's an area in the plan. If you've ever been to the farmstead, the south house sits kind of up on a hill and there's a steep drop off behind it. That's going to be terraced so that families would be able to sit on the different levels, and the gazebo will become a music venue for music in the park.
Nice.
And Shannon Fasteners has stepped up to the plate, and they are financing that project.
That's awesome.
And that should be done this summer as well. So those are three things at least that'll get done, along with finished grade work done around the barn from that project. So we've got a few things going on out there.
Awesome.
Anything else? Okay, the most important person in the room, the secretary. Did you have any comments?
I'm all good. Thanks, George.
I don't know if you noticed, but I opened the meeting and went right to the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could flip those two.
Yes,
Make the
Flip.
pledge first and the call to order second.
No.
sure. Yep.
I'm sorry. No, that is right.
You did.
It
You
was
had it right.
it was switched.
Okay,
Never mind.
okay, good.
We're good.
You had it right.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, they should add play ball right afterwards.
play ball.
Right after the-
Now we
Soon.
have 8 more days before spring training
Come on, it's
starts.
coming.
I'm ready.
I am ready as well.
Got my Tiger jacket just sitting there, ready to put it on. Let's go.
Go down to the game, pay $50 for parking.
It is, well, I was parked in the parking lot at the Methodist Church because that helps finance the church. So, anyway, it is 7:33. We will call the meeting.
I was parked up